It is day 492 of rain. It is non-stop pouring. It sounds amazing in the garage. So you know what? There's like no music, no headphones. It's peaceful in here. It's currently 12:15 midnight on Tuesday morning, and I am trucking. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be in the garage. I have 3 orders on my bench that I would like to complete. And then I got a couple more on the pool table over there. And yeah, it's going crazy. I mean, the weather needs to calm down. But let's make some holsters. And before I forget, the picture that I posted earlier, one person absolutely nailed it, and I kind of think it was the person that ordered it. We'll see. I'd have to look at the names. But it was, in fact, a Smith & Wesson 4.6-inch 10mm with a TLR1 HL. And so I'm going to be contacting you with, I'll comment on it with my email to send me a message, because you are getting a patch with that. Well, you're getting a patch if it wasn't you. You know what I mean. All right, so what are the things that I do here in the shop, and if you guys adopt it in your shenanigans, by all means, it works pretty well. I am making the exact same holster for 2 different orders that are 2 months apart. So instead of tearing down the mold and then finishing the holster and then building up the mold and then doing it all over again, I'm just going to go ahead and do both at the same time and get it out. So generally, what I'll also do is anything that I have for foam press, when it's in the foam, I will prep the next foam press, you know, the next mold, and then I will do a vacuum form on an order that I have for a vacuum form to keep things going, because you got about 8 to 10 minutes of downtime when it's in the press. I have 2 foam presses. One of them ended up breaking, so I got to rebuild it. So I'm down to 1. No big deal, but the way I do it, I'm constantly moving. And so, like I said, when one's in the press, I don't have to worry about prepping the other because it's already prepped. And then I'm going to go ahead and knock out an MC9 with a paddle, which I'll show you guys, because that one's just a quick build on a Palehorse mold. Not a problem on that one at all. And while I'm working on that, I'll be able to let this cool in there. So let's build a Beretta PX4 Storm with the Olight PL Mini 2. I have our multi-molds already set up. And as you could tell right here, I went ahead and added some stuff. And here's the reason why. If you notice, this right here is a PX4 Storm full size, and you see that large indent right there. Well, that will cause a lot of extra retention on your holster, which is what you don't want. So by filling this in with steel stick, it allows me to have a channel to that lower part, which is what you want, and which is what all the vacuum molds consist of. So I went ahead and did that, along with shaving the controls right here and shaving the controls on this side and making it so it's flat over. So I did that quite a while ago. I have tested this mold. It works. I have 0 issues with it. And then of course I have a blue gun here, not only for test fitting, but I use this for a vacuum form. So this should be a relatively easy build. Order 1 is going to be an Ulti-Clip, which is literally going to be in the same spot as the next one, which is getting a fabric clip. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's knock that out. It's just plain black, no big deal, and let's get it off my roster and then on to the next order. So this one video, by the time I'm done, I should have 3 orders out, which means I'm catching up. And just to kind of reiterate everything, the foam press, well, the heat presses, they are on, and my foam is hot. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm going to go ahead and, of course, I just used it in a build that came out actually really good. It was a XDM 3.8 with TLR7 on it. It came out very, very good. And I also, so I have a, I had to make a modified mold. Actually, I'll just show you. It came out really good. So I have a XDS 3.3, and this is right hand inside the waistband, and I wanted to make a left-handed inside the waistband. So I milled this off, milled it down on the CNC, and then I have this blocking that I made right over it. Bam, there's your left hand inside the waistband or right hand outside the waistband to go over your controls. I will have these available as well, but like I said, so there's that duplicate. Once I get set up with a different 3D scanner, I could go ahead. I'm going to scan my molds, and then I'll take these out and add them everywhere, every which way I need, and that way I can make them in house. So, but to not rip off Palehorse, any molds that I make that duplicate his will not be for sale, because I am not that person. If you want to get those molds, go directly to PalehorseConcealment.com and order them through Kirk. He's a phenomenal guy, makes phenomenal products, but any reproductions I do are for in-house only and will not be made for the public. Like I said, if you want him, I'm not going to screw him. I like the relationships that we have, and I value that relationship over making a couple bucks. So, and I do that with all my vendors. I'd also like to point out it is now 12:30 at night. So, get our 5 layers down. You know what? Maybe I'm going to go another route. So I was just taping this, as you saw, and I just had remembrance. I ordered a mold from Palehorse. This was like 3 years ago. And it actually was wrong. So the file was messed up, corrupted somehow reason. He corrected it. No issues, no bad blood. So I have a PX4 PL Mini 2 vacuum form like this, but it's set up for the full-size PX4, but with the compact rail, so it never worked, right? So I got this right here, which means, I might just shave this part off and then cut the whole thing down the center and make my own split mold. And that way, I could just fold it in half and have zero issues and a permanent mold. So maybe I'll do that. It'll take a little bit of time, but it'll be a lot more accurate. So like I said, these are just inside the waistband. So, and I might shave this off. I don't know, we'll see, because I have the blocking for that, but I'm going to have to move a couple things. Let's do it. Now, I've never done anything like this before, so bear with me, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just trace the outline of this. Maybe I'll do this by hand, too. So, there's that. God. See how that goes. Or maybe I'll just do it like straight down right here, and then move over and come over to here, and then just cut that out. I'll do that just to be safe. So let's cut straight down, over, and out. Let's do it one step at a time. Not bad. So if I put this over it, bam. All right. I just got to copy that on the other side. Now I still got to take these off, and I have to shave the nubs right here. I'll do that later on. But what I also want to do is I want to get a couple measurements in. Now here's a PX4 full size, and we're looking at 1.250, so 1.25 inches. All right, 1/2 inch and 1/4 is 3/4 of an inch, which is 0.750. So I'm looking at 0.750 off from here. So roughly right about there on each side. I'll go ahead and I'll connect those together, which will be interesting. I'm going to have to do some fill on these anyway. Alright, so there's our 3/4 and 3/4. That'll give us our 1.5 inches. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to have to cut these, so I'm going to cut them on my table saw, and then we can go ahead and get back to doing some other cool stuff. So that looks like a little over half. No big deal. We'll cut right on that line. I have no problem, but we're going to square that up, and then I'm going to have to fill in a little bit right here, which is no big deal. Like I said, I got to take those out, and I'm just going to do it like normal, and then I'll take those nubs out as well. So let's have some more fun. Alright, shaved it up a little bit more, and there we are. So, really not much left to do. Alright, it's now 1:15, and I'm a little tired, which is probably why I didn't take in consideration the width of the end mill I was just using. So, I wanted to cut, you know, a 3/4 slot, but that's from center to center, and I ended up doing it from outside to outside, the opposite end, so it went a little bit bigger. I didn't catch it till after I moved about 1 inch, and this is what I'm talking about. You can see that right there, that little cutout. Not going to affect anything. I'm going to have to block it anyway. However, I don't need to block a lot of it. But as you can see, we got it like this, and I made that channel in the center bigger, and I'm going to show you why in a second. All right, I got it taped together, and yeah, so I had a piece in there. I'm not sure if it showed, but I'm gonna throw this here, and with our hand here, we're gonna want this right around this area. So we're gonna drop that down. So it was almost it was off by one little bit, so no big deal. But I have, let's see here, where did it go? This is one blocking we will need. And here is the other blocking. So we're going to throw that right there and lock that in place. Where is, oh, there it is. One, two, three. So there's that one. So let's do this one real quick, and then I'm going to form the other one, and then probably make this a two-part because it's 1:30. All right, we have our black Kydex in the press. I'm gonna go ahead and prep our surface for the vac form. And this reminds me that I'm going to do a fundamentals for vac forming because I see a lot of errors in the bending community and I just want to clear everything up. So here's a little snippet of that. You cannot put a mold directly on top of your hole because what's going to happen is it's not going to vac form around it. It's only going to vac where the hole is. You need a standoff or something. So I personally use mesh. The other things you can do is, like another subscriber said, you could put washers on the bottom of here. The things you can do is phenomenal, but the easiest thing I've seen was this, because I just cut them to some sizes and work from there. So I'm going to grab the mold, grab the fence, and move on. All right, that is set there. Our mold is set here, or not the mold, sorry, the fence that we need, and we are at 50 seconds left. Oh yeah! All right, so up next is the fabric clip. I'm gonna add all this stuff back so I don't lose that. But it's this guy right here, and I have this. So it's also found at knifekits.com. So let's see here. We're gonna throw this, and like I said, we want it to be right about there. So I'm going to throw that there, which means let's go that right there and lock that in place. I already have my other piece of Kydex in the press, so we're just waiting on that, and we're going to set right back up. Now obviously no trim jig for this, which is no big deal. Do that. I'm going to set that back up. All right, I don't know about you guys, but so far I am super stoked. Let's check these out. So here's the inside. Obviously you're going to see the tape line. It is inevitable. I'd rather see that than the crack, but as you can see, you can't see that, the tape line. You just see the outside, but remember, this right here is getting cut out, and this is getting cut and folded, so you're not even going to see any of this. So there is the inside of the waistband with the ulti-clip. And here is the inside of the waistband with the fabric clip. Show a little outside. You got that sawdust on it right now, but that's what it is. And boy, oh boy, is that better than prepping that. Now some of you will probably be like, you wasted an hour and a half of your time, an hour of your time. No, I didn't. See, because I modified a junk mold that was up here just collecting dust, I now have a functional mold for that particular setup, and now I could use that any single time. So instead of taking that hour and a half that I just did modifying this mold to work with this setup, the next time I go to make a holster, it's going to take me 8 minutes. And that's being, you know, humble. So I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna make this a two-parter because it is almost 2 o'clock in the morning. It is 1:40, and I have some errands to do in the morning, so I'm just gonna do this as a part two, or part one, and then part two is gonna come in the afternoon. So stay tuned for that one. Make sure you subscribe. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun in the shop. The CNC machine is phenomenal. It was definitely worth the investment, and for those that don't know, it was expensive. So that's all I'm gonna say on the subject on that one. But I'm gonna shut down shop and get back at it when the sun comes up. But first, it's not like a little bacon at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning.